So he's like, no, you can't go because there's no business model. You need to get 3 years of work experience before doing your own thing. Time nahi hai tere paas. You can't do all this. I think then he said you can't do it. That triggered my rebellious nature, saying, okay, I can't do it, which I'm definitely going to do this.
Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome all of you to the House of Finance. And who do we have here? आपको पता है? We have Shashank Udupa. Now, what do I want you to learn from him? सबसे पहला, his entrepreneurial journey, कि how he started Avalon and how he got his friends. That is amazing. And second, his investing mindset, because he is one millennial investor, which I resonate with. मुझे लगता है कि both our investing ideologies match quite a bit. So I want you to understand how, if you were a millennial, how should you plan your investments. You will love this podcast. वेट क्या कर रहे हो? हेडफोन्स लगाओ, आराम से बैठो, स्टार्ट कर रहा हूँ. Hi guys, today we have a very special guest, and this person is a millennial investor and an entrepreneur. I welcome Shashank Udupa. Shashank, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey man, thanks Harsh. Thanks for having me on this as well. Really excited.
Okay, so Shashank, your journey really inspires me because you are on the road of entrepreneurship and investments together, right? So just to give a brief about you to everyone, is that you did your research, you did your bachelor's in financial markets, then you did your master's from Scotland in international management, and then you were also working in IIFL for a stint, right?
Yeah.
So what was your role at IIFL?
I was working as an investment banker at an entry level position, like an analyst, because it was straight out of job, like first job.
And after which you started your journey in finance and
straight away in a year, literally in 1 year.
Wow. So I want to know about the entrepreneurship part also and the investment part also, right?
Yeah.
So let's start with the entrepreneurship journey. Now you started Avalon Meta, and Avalon is amazing as a concept. How I got introduced to Avalon, my team members told me, sir, your Discord community is like super awesome. You have to go there and you learn so many things. And I checked out; it was brilliant. So tell me about your entrepreneurial journey. As in, did you plan for it, and how did it happen? How did you came into it? Did you have a family background for this?
I mean, my dad worked for someone for almost 48 years before he started his own company. Right? So at the age of 48, he started his own company and went into that entrepreneurial journey. And I was always the one who never wanted to do a job because I hated jobs, because I was like, if someone is giving me a fixed salary, then they're earning more than me. Right? So that was my logic. If I'm making X for someone, he's making X plus something over me. So मैं 5 घंटा डालूं या 15 घंटा डालूं, it doesn't make any difference to that guy because I'm getting only same whatever my amount is as my salary, right? So I said I need to be there, but obviously I need more exposure. I need money. I can't just jump into entrepreneurship like that.
You had this feeling about a job before from starting itself, or after you worked and then you felt this?
No, I saw my dad working so hard for other people, right? And they were becoming successful, and I'm like, you can do the same thing. Abhi, if you're working for them, work for yourself. I'd rather work 16 hours for myself than for someone else. That was the logic. But again, a lot of opportunities came my way at that point. It's not like I just jumped into anything and everything. Did this investment banking thing for a year. And that's when actually I came to Bangalore for my grandmom's birthday. This was, I think, in 2016, 2017. I came to visit my grandmom here. And that's when I met Varun for a coffee, right? And I was meeting my school
Mumbai
friends.
Or Bangalore?
Bangalore,
okay.
So I was actually meeting some of my school friends. So 4 guys, out of which Varun came early, right? And then I reached, and then the other 2 guys didn't come. They took like half an hour to come. So in that half an hour span, me and Varun started talking to each other. He realized, okay, we're smart, because I was talking about blockchain and IoT at that point. So he said, you know what, just quit your job, come here, let's do something together. What to do? I have no idea. We're smart people, we'll figure it out. So that was very risky because one, there was no business plan, there was no business idea. We didn't know what we were doing. I went back after 2-3 days. I went back to Bombay, told my dad that I'm thinking of going here. So he's like, no, you can't go because there's no business model. You need to get 3 years of work experience before doing your own thing. Time nahi hai tere paas. You can't do all this. I think then he said, you can't do it. That triggered my rebellious nature, saying, okay, I can't do it, which I'm definitely going to do this. So every day I used to come back from work and argue with him, saying, I want to go. So he's like, but isme kuch fayda hi nahi hai. What is the company plan? You have nothing, right? And you want to shift a city, go to Bangalore, leave everything behind, and with no guarantee of anything, right? And no salary also. So how are you going to manage?
And how old were you when this was happening?
25, I think. 2017 is when I came to Bangalore. So I'm 1992 born. So around 25. So I was around 25. I had saved up a lot of money through Bitcoin at that point, right? So this is something that nobody knew, because before I became an investment banker, I started investing in crypto in 2016. That was when Ethereum was at $8 and Bitcoin was at $300 or $600. So there I made good amount of money there, right? And I think that was my entire savings that got leached out when I came and started Avalon, because that was where my entire salary was being paid by that fund itself. So we were not making money in the initial days. Then I fought with my dad. I just went and quit, and I came back and gave him the resignation letter. And I said, I've already quit. This is my notice period. 3 months. After 3 months, I'm going. So you can support me or not, up to you. But I'm leaving, right? So that was how the game played, and he got damn pissed.
I can imagine.
Yeah, he got very pissed. He didn't talk to me for like 6 months.
Are you serious? 6 months?
Yeah. So I told him, worst case, what will happen? I'll go there, I'll fail, I'll come back. And I'll learn something and come. By mistake, if I succeed, I'm going there to fail. So I'm okay with failing. So I was very clear with that. And I'm still 25. So I'll fail in like 2-3 years. Give me 3-4 years. Max to max 28, 29 tak वापस आ जाऊंगा सब fail करके. But it's not like I won't get a job somewhere. At least I'll have so much experience that कुछ ना कुछ figure out कर ही लूंगा, right? So instead of sitting here, and I told him, after I get married and other responsibilities, I won't be able to take such risks. When you're solo, you have more risk ability, right?
Of course.
So I told him that I'm like, so I'm going there to fail. If I succeed by mistake, then I'll consider it a blessing. So that was what my whole thing was. And when you're coming with all that baggage of fighting and leaving everything, you're already all in, nothing to lose. So when you're in that position, when you're all in and nothing to lose, then you just go mental, right? I mean, you have all the energy, speed, ability to take risks, and you just go berserk. And that's what, when we started Avalon, year one itself, we grew very fast, right? When we started Avalon Labs in 2017, we got funded in 3 months. We built a company from bootstrap. Before getting funded, we built it bootstrap to around 50 employees, got insane amount of cash flow kind of revenues, making 3-4 crores in the first year of operations with zero knowledge, nothing, right? It was just cold calling, cold emailing, trying to land clients like the freelancer.
No, this is brilliant. The part I really like that like you and Varun mentioned that you mentioned that you and Varun, you had no idea, but kuch na kuch to types kar lenge.
Yeah.
So how did that journey start? How did you come to that point ki yaar chalo, let's start something in the lines of Avalon, and what's the mission of Avalon now?
See, it was not planned, right? So first what happened is, all of us, we had a house in this place called Hebbal, Portamao. So we took a house where all of us were staying in the same house. So it was a 3 BHK flat. But it was quite big because it had an office space. Bangalore, little outskirts of the city, was cheap. So around 50,000 was the rent. And we all went and stayed there. So I think Varun put up the rent for the first few months. And then what we said is, dude, it's expensive, because we were 5 people, right? Me, Varun, Abhinav, Tejas, and Anindya, out of which 4 are still working in Amazon. Right?
And all of you were school friends or college friends?
No, all of them were Varun's friends. I was the complete outsider. All of them were Manipal students, right? All 4 of them. I was the outsider. And I think Tejas, who's currently our CTO, came as an intern. Right? So he joined there as an intern. So we sat there, and Varun had to pay salaries to the other 2 guys. Me, Abhinav, and Varun weren't taking salaries. But I think the other 2 guys needed internship, because they were doing internship. So 10 grand per month plus 50 grand apna ghar ka. So we said 1 lakh we need per month. Let's start figuring out how to make 1 lakh, and the fastest way to make 1 lakh per month, right? The only way to do that was doing services. Right? We don't have a product. We can't build a product. So we said marketing services, digital website build karna. We have 2 developers. App build karna. We have to. So we just started doing cold emailing. Varun started doing cold Reddit threads, saying that we're a damn good company in Bangalore, based out of Bangalore. We can do any app in India for cheap. Reach out to us, this and that. And I was finance guy, so investment banker tag was helping me as well. So I used to make business model decks for people and sell it for 2-3 lakhs per presentation. So whatever, slowly we started doing that. So it was a 5-man team. Within 1.5 months, we hit 8 lakh monthly revenue, fixed.
Wow.
And we were each individually doing 3 projects each. And then we said, boss, now we're burnt out. It's tiring. Let's get an office and let's hire people. But now obviously with 8 lakhs revenue, I can't go hire people and give them benefits. So we said, what's the easiest way to get more hands-on work? We hired 20 interns for 5K each. So that 20 interns, 5K each, cost me 1 lakh a month. So I was still profitable on a month-on-month basis. Now, because of the 20 interns and my bandwidth increased, from 8 lakhs, we went to 16 lakhs in revenue within the next 3 months. Then we got funded after that. So that helped us jump even more. And then slowly we reached a 50-man team, right? With around 10 interns, but 40 almost full time. So it was massively, we expanded to everything like tech, marketing. Then we came to India. And India also, we were very unique when we started positioning things, because we were like, if a marketing company has to go land a client, they have to go to the startup and say, we are good at marketing, aajao. We said, let's do reverse approach. We went to VCs and said, we're damn good at marketing. We'll give all your portfolio companies discounted rate and we will do marketing for them. So in one meeting, we landed 10 clients because startups were not saying no to the VCs and they're all like, chalo, chance de dete. We gave discounted pricing, but I was still winning on the volume game because one client, 3 people used to handle. I mean, 3 clients, 3 people used to handle. So it was a volume game I was playing. That worked out really well. Within a year and a half, I think we reached a point where we incubated 3 startups. We invested in few startups. We had a lot of money, right? Because we were selling to US. So our margins were too good. But then me and Varun started getting bored because kuch karne ko nahi tha, because we have a sales team doing sales. We have a execution team doing execution. But this was a 3 crore business, 10 crore business, max tak chala. Max 10 crore business, not more than that. Why? Because this was typical services. So Varun got bored and then he wrote a book in the gap and then the book did well. And then he said, you know what? He said, let me try doing Instagram and YouTube. So he did some episodes on YouTube. That did well. Then he told me, Shashank, you do episodes on YouTube. I said, finance boring. We'll watch finance episodes. He's like, try kar. Tried that. That worked. So both of us, money was coming from that side. We were focusing on content creation. That kicked in well. Everything was a evolution, right? There was no planning. We said, okay, this is great. Let's house them on Telegram. Put them on Telegram, reached 12,000 users on Telegram, said this is too much. Let's do it on Discord. Went to Discord, got 50,000 users on Discord. Then we said, let's try monetizing this. Let's see how much. We don't know what. We've never asked them for money, right? Let's try where we'll teach them something. We'll teach them some course. I did my first finance pro league. He did a game design pro league. And in 4 months of this experiment, we made 2 crores again. What we were doing in a year, we made it in 4 months. Then again, we reached a ceiling. We're like, again, this courses kitna bech ke time, effort. We started getting other mentors onboarded. We did a profit share. We tried all that and we said, max will hit again 10 crores. Let's go one step ahead. Let's build a platform itself now. Now we have money. We have everything. We have credibility. Instead of doing all this, let's bada haath marenge. That's when Scenes was born. And we stopped the entire Discord. We shut down Discord. We shut down our whatever monetization we were doing. Went on a full cash burn, upfronted all our savings that we had, started building Scenes. And I think within 3 months, Scenes did so well that we got some crazy investors and we raised a lot of money. Now we're in the product building business.
This is fantastic, man. This is very cool. But Shashank, you know, a lot of people start with this, but fortunately or unfortunately, maybe they don't end up at the same position that Avalon has does. So what do you feel is the difference? What was the difference between Avalon or any other startup that is maybe struggling?
See, the good thing was, one, we had a very strong team that believed in the same vision. Number one, our team never broke, right? I told you, out of those 5 people, 4 of us are still here, still working in Avalon. All of them have equity. One person had to leave for other reasons, right? But the team was very strong. And also the team was built in such a way that there could never be fights. Until date, the team is built in such a way where there cannot be fights. Because, so we have 4 people left in the core team. So Tejas runs the tech, CTO. Right? वो क्या करते हैं हम लोग को समझ में नहीं आता. Right? Abhinav does marketing and funnels. Pura marketing, growth marketing, product marketing. Me and Varun don't understand this. Tejas doesn't understand what Varun does or what Abhinav does. Now Varun handles the VC side, right? Talking to VC, fundraising, doing storytelling, which we can't talk to VCs the way he talks. The way he talks to is amazing, right? Again, we can't get into that. And he's the vision. He'll create the vision, keep the team alive. I do finance, which nobody else understands. So even if you want to butt into someone else's work, I can't go to Tejas and be like, you know what, tu aisa code le. So I will look like an idiot. So everyone, so Varun sets the major vision, saying, boss, we need to get 100K downloads. Right? Now, how Tejas builds the app for 100K, how Abhinav does marketing for 100K, how I approve the budgets and ensure that we have enough money to make this 100K and think. So my job is basically handling the money, legal, now a little bit in acquisition and doing a lot of collabs with people so that I can just keep my head in the game, right? So I understand pain points by talking to a lot of people, which others can't. So it was built that way. And a lot of people, what happens is they give up too early, right? It's not like we didn't see bad days. We saw days where we were 2 months away from going bankrupt. We had no money at all, no salary for 6-7 months. A lot of people would give up and be like, you know what? But every time we get pushed back into a corner, we come back like insane. And we've been pushed like 3 times and we've come back 3 times in a mad way.
Yeah, what I get is that first, what helped you is that you were very clear in exactly what direction you want to, as in all your jobs are very clear. So there's no intermingling. So of course, there'll be less of any kind of friction.
Yeah.
Right. One is that. Second is you mentioned that you had great team and a great vision.
Yeah.
So how does one find or approach to start finding a good team, and how does one see a vision? Because I remember I went, I generally, I get a lot of investment from startup funding places, right? I have no intention of funding that. I only want to stick to equities, but it's very interesting to go and see the ideas and stuff. So a lot of times when idea doesn't work out now, though the founder starts to blame the team that the team is not doing well, the team is not skilled enough.
Yeah.
So how do you tackle this?
So that's one good thing that I don't know whether it's subconsciously done or whether it's thoughtfully done, but one good thing that we've never had a problem was blaming each other, right? If there is something that's going wrong, we always we're very solution oriented, like inbuilt. As soon as some bad day happens, we're all like, chalo, ye aisa hua, or this competition is coming, how to beat them. So we always know that we cannot be enemies within, the enemies outside, and they're not sleeping, they're trying to beat us. Now, when we built a community, when we were building community platforms, there was no one in the space, right? No one was talking about creator economy and community economy. Now there are 7 startups coming up in the space building community economy. Knowing all the competition that's there, because we know exactly who's at what level, we know that no one's even close to what we're building right now with the speed that we have 3 months head start. So I think and every time we come to know, ek aur aa raha hai, ya kuch kar raha hai, we're not blaming anyone, right? We're always like, acha isne aisa kiya, इससे better कैसा करते. So we're very solution driven. We don't like blaming people also. So it's very weird that way. I mean, I don't know how to say it, but it's weird.
And second, how should one approach to find a team according to you?
This is the biggest problem, right? Like if you ask me today, leave the current team and find a new team, it would take me more than a year to find a new team, right? Firstly, because it's very difficult because you're almost married to them for like 4 years. When you're doing a startup, right? Married to them in such a way that all your insecurities goes on them, their insecurity comes on you. All the positives you celebrate, negatives you have to survive, right? A lot of people like to celebrate positive, negative, hote hi, blame, run, right? Will they go without a salary if you have to go without a salary? Will they adjust and not do anything and sacrifice the same level you would sacrifice? All these things, and you can't come to know this in the first meeting or even in the 5th meeting. So intent kaisa hai? Will he get bored after 3 months? So that's why I said it's a 1-year process to just find your team, right? To find who's passionate and about the same idea. And then slowly the team becomes one, right? Like everyone thinks like in the same way.
True. Because this is one problem even I face a lot. Because whenever like we have a core team, but whenever you want to start, I know that if we are taking 5 more people in our team, there will be only actually one who will actually stick with you for the longer term of time. Other people's, again, they have some different interest or you discover something different about them. So that keeps on happening.
Yeah.
Okay. So if there was only one advice you want to give a new budding entrepreneur in the same digital marketing space, what would that advice be?
Don't give up unless you actually positively have to, right? You give up when you have zero money and you just can't do it. Even if you have 1 month runway, I have seen people coming back even with 1 month runway, right? Something clicks. Right? We were also in a point where 3 months, we were like, we don't know what to do. No money to pay people, right? But we came through all those situations because somewhere we call these guys angels, right? We call them Hall of Fame. Kahan na kahan se ek client aa jata hai, paisa de dete hai, and you're safe. So I would say don't lose hope, but also think about finances very well in a startup, because no one focuses on finances in the early days in the startup. Everyone wants a swanky office. They want a big wooden table, a conference table, a TV, and an AC. Stay with a fan. Don't get a TV. Stay with a normal second-hand chair and the second-hand office OLX mein jaake table kharido. There's no shame. There's fine. Paisa banao. One by one, keep changing. Everyone wants it good on day one. That doesn't work.
So the one advice would be that start small. Don't start with very high expectation. मतलब खर्चे as minimum as possible and ego को दरवाजे के बाहर. मतलब as you mentioned,
you can't have ego in business.
Exactly. True. Very true. Now let's jump to your investing side. Now I saw that you did your bachelor's in financial markets, right?
Yeah.
So was stock markets was already a pre-decided thing that this is something you're interested in because you did a bachelor in this, or this is something that you got interested in later with your entrepreneurial journey? Tell me about that.
So no, I always like the stock market. It's not only the stock market for me. Anything. So I love knowing how the world works. Weirdly, right? I want to know how the world works. So for example, one thing that I'm trying to learn now is how do rich people avoid taxes very well. something that I cannot find out, or something that even after reading I can't figure out how they're doing. So that is something that irritates me, right? How does the cement industry work? I want to know, right? It's just that thirst for knowledge. After I know how cement industry works, I don't need to read it again because I know the 90% kaisa chal raha hai. Kal ko change ho gaya to. So that way I want to know exactly how every industry works. And in that slow quest of now I realize how chemical works. Now I recently in COVID I realized how pharma works with API. I didn't know what API, generic drug, A&D and all those. Now next I want to learn NBFC and banking properly. So there are 3-4 sectors pending, right? What be sugar, Q cyclical hai. Why is it commodity that way? How is commodity working? So once I know all this, obviously I love money also at the same time. It's not like I don't love money. So when you have such kind of information and you know how to deal with that information, and you have something in the stock market where you can connect the dots and see what is listed, you make sense. And it's not difficult. Like if you see today, CDSL's result came out and it did well, but it was all predicted. It was like known to happen. Why? Because कब से news आ रहा है कि so many demat account open, so many demat, and CDL is partnered with every new discount broker, right? Paytm, Upstock, Zerodha, Grow, whoever. So obviously
compared to NSDL, CDSL is far ahead in terms of collaboration.
Far ahead, right? And it's obvious that there now it may be a small spike possible COVID के वजह से. Maybe after 2 years when COVID is fine, or maybe after 1 year everything might go down. Or one bear market, all the people run away, only 60% will be active. But वो बात का है. अभी का we knew what would happen. So that is how I try to connect the dots and take it as an advantage as much as possible.
So this is why you enter stock market, because this gives you an opportunity to study all kinds of fields.
It was a merger of everything. It gives me nice knowledge. It quenches my knowledge thirst, right? Number one. Also, it gives me money, which I also like a lot. So both things happen at the same time. So it was the perfect marriage for me.
So this is very interesting. जैसे मैं ज़्यादा कभी सुना नहीं है कि one just wants to learn about this sector because he wants to learn how the industry works. So how do you start approaching, for all the viewers? So suppose if somebody wants to start learning about the steel industry, so how would you approach it? How would you start learning about it?
So first thing what I do is, there's this website called Value Picker, right? It's actually a forum for stock market. I go there and I pick a, say Tata Steel, for example, and I start reading the entire thread. It's usually a very, very long thread, might take me 1-2 years, but it talks about users' experience on Tata Steel. Then I go and read the research report, 4-5 quarters ka research report. Research report gives you the full picture. Ki kya ho raha hai, kya hai, aisa ho raha hai, wo ho raha hai. Now these two things I understand. Then I go check more information on the news articles. What is happening with the steel industry? I think IPEF comes out with a lot of different things. So first I understand the industry. Then once you know the industry, then you can always pick who the good stocks. Without understanding industry, it's pointless. So yeah, I do research reports, a lot of reading. I think there's no shortcut to reading, sadly. And if you don't know, Google it.
I feel we live in such a lucky generation because, earlier this was not possible. To find all research papers and everything. So it's like you just need to put an effort to think what should I search in Google, and you'll get everything for you.
Earlier, I think it was a very close-knit community. If I need to have a research report, I need to call my broker friend or my broker uncle and then ask him, अच्छा इसका है क्या? And फिर he'll send it to me. उसमें कुछ समझेगा नहीं. And then if I want to make a trade, I have to call him.
I remember a lot of time होती थी, but वो बहुत पुरानी है, 6 महीने पुरानी है, 3-4 महीने पुरानी है.
And if I say, okay, this is awesome, I want to take a decision and buy this right now, I can't do that. I have to call him again. अच्छा, I want to take an order here. He'll be like, अच्छा रुको, मैं अभी थोड़ा बाहर हूँ, इसको कॉल करो, ये कर देगा आपके लिए. फिर वो करेगा, फिर 2 दिन बाद फिजिकल सर्टिफिकेट वर्टिफिकेट बन के. It was a hassle. It was horrible. Right now, everything is, you can take decisions like this.
True.
So that's the advantage.
Achha, so you mentioned reading. Reading is something that really helps in stock market. So do you feel that an investor cannot be a good investor if he is not that comfortable with reading, or a trader also perhaps?
So reading is good. See, for example, I'm reading this now, right? Because I know it is good.
Coffee can. It's amazing.
Yeah. So I'm just starting this now. I have $1 billion whale. I have to order Dhando Investor. No, it's not like I don't know how the stock market works, right? I know it, but it's always good to get a different opinion or the way how someone else thinks about it, right? When I was reading Psychology of Money, I realized a lot of differences. For example, a person who invested in 2007 in the stock market, who immediately saw the crash, would be scarred to enter the stock market. Or either he's scarred or now he knows exactly risk management principles on day one. Because he's like, मैंने वो देखा है, right? So his psychology versus someone coming in the bull run, right? Miles apart. Now who's better? No one's better, right? It's all about the psychology of when you invest. I like looking at everyone's take on how the world works. Again, it's all about how Saurabh Mukherjee thinks the equity market. I'm not saying he's right or wrong. maybe Monish Pabrai's investing strategy. Maybe right or wrong. I'm not saying they're always right. Even Rakesh Junala sometimes screws up. So it's okay. But it's a lot of people I've seen don't think twice, just copycat and get screwed. Right? Which is because his risk tolerance versus mine is a different angle. So I never copy, but I learn.
ये मैंने बहुत देखा है because like you're right. It's all about opinion. If you see the opinion of Howard Marks, Peter Lynch, George Soros, it's all opinion. It's a game of opinion.
सबका एक point of view है. Yeah.
सबका point of view. Nobody can predict the market. Not even Warren Buffett. No one can predict the market.
Exactly.
So a lot of times, अब जैसे जो मुझे दिखता है internet पे, people are trying to find the best fundamental strategy, the best technical.
There is no best. That's
exactly.
The best part.
अब जितना भी उनको बोलो कि I keep on trying to tell them कि यार best कुछ नहीं है. It's a game of opinion. So if I believe in something, somebody else can believe in something else, and that is completely fine because nobody knows. There's no right answer. Do you think this will change? Because अभी इतनी सारी information available, but तभी भी I think majority of the people participating in the Indian markets, taken specifically the millennials and the generation Z, they want tips, best technical tool, best fundamental tool. Do you think this will change with time?
I think people need to realize over time they have to see one market cycle. This is what I always say, right? एक पूरा cycle, bull and bear, दोनों and stagnant phase, consolidating, where it doesn't even move, right, for a few months, years, maybe 6 months, 1 year. Once you see the whole cycle, you'll realize, okay, now I know this, right?
Very true.
Also, one more thing, what I feel is people need to understand that the stock market, whatever decision you take, is all about checking your probability of risk, right? If I'm entering into a trade with very less data, my risk is higher, right? When I'm entering into that trade, maybe it's not, right? But maybe if I had this particular piece of information, it wouldn't be. But what I'm doing now is I'm looking at 5 other people, looking at their strategy, thinking about that strategy, getting a new piece of information from Google, finding out that this because of that is good, right? And then I'm taking a call on a particular stock with less risk, right? Even though the risk is there, risk is always there, but I'm making an informed decision. So I think ये सब tips जो है copycat जो कर रहे हैं, I think see that who are they copying or who are they taking tips from? Big people, right? Who have enough to lose also. I mean, even if they lose 1-2 crores, for them it's nothing. For you, you lose 5,000, 10,000 rupees, you will cry the entire day, right? So that's why I said one full cycle you have to see, because in bull market everyone's awesome, right?
Yeah.
So, कुछ भी टच करो चलेगा, बेसिक फंडामेंटल रिसर्च करो बुल मार्केट में.
इन बुल मार्केट ये होता है कि जो न्यू ट्रेडर्स है, they become more profitable than older traders because
exactly because older traders have seen the cycle. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
New traders have seen upper circuit में घुस जाते हैं, फिर बैठ जाते हैं, फिर exit करते हैं बाद में, and I'm like, dude, that's crazy, right? In fact, when I do my market talk sessions, a lot of people keep messaging me, sir, look at this NGL FindCam, sir, look at these stocks. So there's one stock that is going up 5% every day, and the market cap is 57 crores. And I'm like, bro, tu kya kar raha hai? Right? Why are you even looking at this? Like, sir, because it's going up 5% every day. I'm like, dude, so he might make more money than me. He might get out and he might think he's the best investor, better than me. But it's not sufficient. It's not sustainable on the long term. So long term में क्या होगा पता नहीं, देखा जाएगा.
Exactly. So ये तो actually मैं भी काफी बोला कि a lot of new traders now, and especially 18-16-year-olds, because stock markets when you begin, you always earn. That's the basic thumb rule which everyone agrees to.
Yeah.
So a lot of people maybe get into that arrogant stage, or I think, to be very honest, मैं भी शायद उस थोड़ी arrogant stage में था. बाद में all of us realize कि
you get that initial nasha, no? You get कि मैं खुद से कमा रहा हूँ, मैंने खुद किया, and then you go buy something with that first profit.
Do you think it's going to change? मतलब with time, जैसे I genuinely feel that there will be one time जहाँ पे people, they are genuinely not looking for tips and the best fundamental tool. They're generally looking for insights. So do you think that time will come?
The thing is, I feel, see, humans, some basic psychology level, there is something that will always repeat. Like FOMO is something that you cannot take out of a human right now.
True.
So all the people in this era, say for example 2020 में जो invest किया, if you ask me this question in 2030, if you compare this number of people, this cohort, they'll be very smart, looking for insights, doing fundamental analysis and taking a call. But 2030 wala bull market mein, you will see new people just like this, again entering the market with the same FOMO driven attitude. They will not come and say, okay, pen, paper, fundamental analysis करेंगे. So you will always see this after 100%. One cycle, a washing machine. They'll put them now, all new people have come into the washing machine.
The most expensive words an investor ever said, that this time it's different. It is so true. It is so true. And 2016 also, when the markets corrected, same situation. 2008, same. 92, same. It's the same thing. every single time.
There's only 3 directions a stock can go, right? Or the market can go: up, down, and nowhere. That's it. There's only 3 things to do. And if you look at from when the stock market is released also, it's up, down, or just same level, nothing else. But the emotions around this up, down, that is something that people are experiencing. अभी का bull market देखो and पहले वाला bull market देखो, बहुत difference है, because now information is more, so everyone's jumping. Now Zomato IPO, everyone knows what Zomato IPO is, right? Or any new IPO. Now people are asking me, sir, ये IPO देखा क्या अभी? क्या LIC भी आ रहा है, you know, Nykaa आ रहा है, ये वो, because news में आ रहा है सब कुछ, right? And nobody has done fundamental research. Nobody knows anything. बस listing gains और grey market premium देख के decision they take.
And I've seen a lot of people, they take the grey market decision and they don't even know that grey market premiums, they change, they fluctuate. Some people, I've met some people, they assume that it's fixed. Why fixed nahi hota, it fluctuates from time to time. Okay.
That's what.
So a lot of people now also are looking for degrees. So what do you think is what would you advise someone who's looking to do a professional degree in stock markets or to get placed in stock markets?
I would say don't do it for that degree per se. Do it for the education, not for the degree, right? If you want to know how the stock market works, a degree is not going to tell you that. But the education inside that degree, if you go for the education, that will help you. Because degree leke mein degree stock market ko aisa dikhayega, to it will not give me money, right? It is all here. True. Everything is here. So I would say if you're doing it because I can get this degree, I'll get the certificate, and because of the certificate, I can enter the stock market. That's the wrong way to look at it. First, see the degree ke andar kya course content hai. Will that help me for what I want to do in the stock market? And if I want to become a personal investment advisor, right? There's some exam to give. A lot of people give that exam because I want to become this, just to pass that, because it's a rule by SEBI or rule by whoever, right? Yeah. But instead of that, if you learn different techniques, automatically you're a different personal investment advisor than the 10-15 people already giving that exam. So you try to win. So I think education ke liye jao, not for degree, if you want to enter the stock market.
True, because जो SEBI NCFM की registration है, those are mandates, so one needs to clear them. So you can't even call them. वो तो करनी पड़ेगी if you want to legally get into the field.
But do it with the education mindset. Don't do it कि मेरे को degree है, past 5 papers, ये question आने वाला है, ये मैं पढ़ के जाऊंगा, मैं pass हो जाऊंगा. You will pass definitely, but as soon as you come in the real world of stock market, there is no pass failure, right? There's no degree that's going to help you. It's your brains, and you versus that guy is just brains. That's it.
I was reading such an interesting research paper. उसमें लिखा था, the more educated you are, the more probable you are to lose money in stock markets.
Overthinking.
If analysis paralysis, if I come to think about it, all educated, well, again, nothing saying against education or it's bad. I'm just saying the role of it in stock markets. A lot of people just assume कि अच्छा CA है तो भाई ये stock market champion है. जबकि what I feel, finance is a big world. If you ask me about taxation, मुझे नहीं आता, मुझे accounting नहीं आती, मुझे सिर्फ equity derivative research आती है. Right? Finance is a very big umbrella. So what do you feel कि इसमें जो perception, have you seen this around you? कि if you're in finance,
I have seen it in me only. Basically, when I finally learned how to do proper fundamental analysis, I was seeing a structured approach to growth. Now, when you know where to look and how to look, suddenly everything looks like one treasure, right? Yeah. In every sector, you will find 2 treasures. Now, there are so many sectors. So at one point, I found 38 stocks that were damn good, in my opinion. So I bought all the 38 stocks. And then I realized it's not even going up my portfolio, right? Because I've over-diversified. Now I'm like, kisko nikalu? Sab to
and which year is this?
This was last year only.
Literally last year only. Okay.
At March COVID time, COVID time, what I did, I was a little smart, right? I went to large cap index, and March 20 जब वो गिरा था ना, 20th, 23rd, 24th, right? When the COVID crash happened and it fell down to 25,000 points, I went to large cap index and just mapped 20th को कितना था और 24th को कितना. But what is the fall from peak, right? I did that math. Everything had fallen 30-35% at that point. So I bought Reliance was at 700 rupees at that, $700 at that point, which went down to 2,000 later because of the funding news. HDFC was at 900 rupees. Very cheap. Avanti Feeds, Deepak Nitride, all dirt cheap price. So I bought that way. So मैंने जो discount में लिया, and then I sold it in 5 months. That was my biggest mistake, right? I sold it in 5 months and I said, awesome, I'm great, I'm happy. That's where the big mistake happened. And then slowly I realized, okay, after that I realized I had 38 stocks in my portfolio. I have to under that. Then I came down to 17 stocks. Now then I got introduced to small case and I'm like, ये तो सब कुछ अच्छा है इधर भी. तो बहुत confused होता है bro. वही problem.
हाँ, क्योंकि if you come to think about it, अगर कोई finance enter करना चाहता है ना, तो intimidating तो बहुत है. Because now you've got products like small case, which is fantastic. Mutual funds, a lot of people have difficulty understanding small case mutual fund, which is understandable because if you're not from this field, तो थोड़ा एक mental block रहता है, which I can imagine.
Exactly.
तो ठीक है. अब एक और चीज है, a lot of people are heavily into future options. ठीक है, मतलब I know some people on the internet itself जो 1-2 महीना markets में है, 18-19 साल के हैं और सीधा का सीधा derivatives में घुस गए हैं अच्छे से.
Yeah.
So what is your take on derivatives? What is your do you trade in future options? Do you like it? What's your take?
I try. See, I'll tell you what I like. As I told you, right, I'm a knowledge hungry person. So once I understood basics of fundamental, I won't say I'm perfect yet. I said technical में भी बहुत लोग बात कर रहे हैं. Anyway, I'm bad at it, and I was openly telling people I'm bad at it. And let me learn करने में कुछ problem. The only problem with technical is you have to learn on the job.
Yeah.
It's fundamental में you learn off the job, right? Yeah. I can do research without interacting with the stock. People say paper trading karo, but technical में it's you are trading with yourself, not the paper
trading. मतलब मैंने देखा paper trading में सब profitable है, सब करोड़पति हैं paper trading में, but in reality that emotional part, that emotions, the drive, जब तक you don't do it practically, तब तक you won't.
I still can't do it. So I tried that. I did research. I found out all the formations that were there. So किताबी knowledge लेके बैठ गया मैं. But then when it actually comes, when you're seeing a bank nifty candle on a daily basis, on a hourly or a 15-minute or a 5-minute basis, when it's going up and down, and you see your levels there, and it's just breaking, and you're like, "Acha, break ho gaya, to main kharid lunga." Just that FOMO, you buy it, and then it reverses and crashes, and you don't put a stop loss because it happens all in like a matter of 2-3 minutes. Like then I tried expiry day trading. उधर तो लग ही गया था पूरा मतलब. So I tried and then I realized it's a full-time job. I can't do it with running a company, meetings, and then just checking my phone to see where my bank nifty trade. Then I'm gambling, right? I need to be like a hawk and checking. So I said अभी के लिए नहीं है, बाद में try करूँगा. I understood why it works and why people look at it, but again I feel it's all about profit and what is that, risk probability, right?
Yeah.
What are your odds? You are making different charts and patterns to say that either say there's a possibility it can go up, higher possibility it can go up, and lower possibility it can go down. But you're understanding both, right? So you enter the trade there, and if your probability is good, you win, or it goes down, you hit your stop loss, and you're done. So it's just like normal stock market, which is all about you predicting the probability of an upward or a downward.
With time now, when people experience it, I feel वो खुद अभी everyone's very fresh into the markets. मतलब October 2020 से you've seen a major push in the markets, but with time I think सब सीख जाएंगे जब एक बार होगा. या दूसरी चीज future option मुझे लगता है ना that why people get fascinated towards it because of course you put in less money and the chance for reward यहाँ पे double नहीं सीधा 4 times ही हो सकता है and there's no limit.
Correct.
Right? But what and margin पे खेल लिया तो फिर अलग ही level पे पहुंच जाओगे.
That's the biggest problem. Yeah.
That's the SEBI has reduced the margin. पहले if you remember 2015-16 में I knew there were some brokers that were ready to give 20x margin and people were playing on 20x. So small brokers at that time, and I think 2015 में discount brokers was something that never used to work. I think after before zero tha, the picture of or the perception of discount brokers was कि यार अभी साल डेढ़ साल में बंद हो जाएगा. That was
पैसा कैसे कमाएगा वो?
पैसे कैसे कमाएगा? But Kamath brothers just changed the entire game.
They changed the game only. They just changed the playing field. Everyone was playing football. He came and started playing cricket over there.
Yeah, dude.
He finished it.
जब वो I remember the news जब आया था कि zero था. I think it got organic media because they did such a drastic thing that no brokerage and it was insane. I was like ये कमाएंगे कैसे? मतलब how will they?
Very Robin Hood concept. This was pure Robin Hood concept.
Brilliant. अच्छा broking पे भी आएंगे. तो actually let's jump to broking. Now industry, I have been in the markets in 2010. You also have been in the markets continuously, right? Or the brokers we have seen is जहाँ पे बैठे हैं चाय कॉफी बट रही है. The traditional brokers जो ले रहे हैं 0.5 I think मेरे टाइम में 0.2 0.02 was the fixed thing. And if you're doing good volumes, so वो 0.15 कर देगा. That too if you're doing and very good volumes, so
very good volume.
And bank brokers to 0.5 में fixed है, अब तो they've also come down.
Yeah.
But now discount brokers have like changed the entire game.
Yeah.
And if you ask my dad, so my dad still feels smoke. He's not comfortable with the discount brokers till date. He feels he can't give me any logical reasoning for it. But he's like, yeah, मुझे नहीं पता because he's seen those discount brokers age ना कि आते हैं जाते हैं.
Come and gone, yeah.
Come and gone. But up to some discount brokers, how do you feel the broking industry? Is it a permanent change? Do you think all the brokers will come to this wherein the level of grow up stocks?
They have to, no? In fact, it's not about grow up stocks zero, right? Because they're all in the same playing field. There are still people playing with 0.2, 0.15, 0.015, whatever it is. There are still people playing on the percentage game, like the big people, HDFC Securities, the ICICI Securities. they're still playing percentage and not brokerage game. Now, for them to suddenly pivot to zero brokerage is next to impossible. Why? Because they have such a big team, so many salaries. अच्छा खासा business आता है उधर से. Stock price
but
will
on
go
the
for a
same
toss.
hand, they have big pockets, so maybe they can manage it.
Do they have big pockets? Are they willing to take the big nosedive on their share price?
Yeah.
Because HDFC Securities is a subsidiary of, say, HDFC, right? So nosedive to hoga. Yes, long-term perspective, yes, all agree. But from a shareholder view, they'll be like, nay, I'll stay out of this. It'll crash. People will panic. Instead of celebrating, they'll just be like, this revenue's gone. So they couldn't do anything at that point, and they also thought कि discount broker आके जाएगा. But now it has come to such a point, and also what they did was this online opening innovation that they did. Earlier, to open a demat account was a hectic job.
40 pages sign करो, ये करो.
40 pages sign करो, बैंक एम्प्लॉय आएगा घर पे, या आप जाओ साइट पे, फिर उसके बाद 3-4 दिन के बाद अप्रूव होगा, फिर वो प्लेटफॉर्म इतना कॉम्प्लिकेटेड आएगा.
चेक 2 दिन बाद क्लियर होगा.
Cancel check. It's just crap, right? And now everything's 40 minutes, 15-20 minutes. I can get a login. Login next day आता है, 15-20 minutes में account हो जाता है with CDSL, everything done, finished. That was the game changer. Convenience was the game changer, right? If there was a discount broker like Zerodha, but I still had to sign 40 pages and go to Zerodha's branch, they would have not succeeded.
Kamath brothers changed the entire broking game. I think that was a major fact, that it was so accessible that itni participation बढ़ गई. What do you feel on that?
It was, I think it started very organically, as you said, right? Earlier, a lot of day traders, the day trader community and the small brokers, small traders used to go there. Why? Because they're like, I'm saving 0.2%.
Of course, trading with the brokerage matters a lot.
So most of the people who started on Zerodha were traders, not long-term fundamental investors. Right? These are all those traders who are sitting in Bombay, moving on to Zerodha very quickly. Different places, because 0.2% भी बहुत होता है margin में. Then slowly, and then they also did a beautiful affiliate strategy, which no one talks about. Their affiliation strategy was crazy, that they'll tell you to download Zerodha and from their link, and they get a nice cut commission from it forever, right?
Yeah.
An annuity business. So that was something that they did really well. All marketing hacks, marketing strategies. And then now you see where they are. Now they're building that ecosystem in such a way that no other competition can build. HDFC cannot build an ecosystem like the way Zerodha does. Zerodha is sensible, small case, learn app, ticker tape, sub integrated. Can HDFC do this? FinShots. Everything. What you want, news, options, everything's there. Can big companies do this? No. So there'll come a point where they either have to be okay with number 6, number 7 position, or they have to change and say, you know what, we're changing the game, we're revamping. So I can
say among all the big brokers, angel broking is a broker that has been very quick to adapt to technology.
But they're not that big also like HDFC. They're little young mindset.
If you take the traditional brokers like Carvey, Edelweiss, HDFC,
they can't.
Yeah, it's very difficult for them to switch.
They can, but they don't want to. Because abhi aa raha hai paisa, there are a lot of people who are so used to it. Like as you said, your dad still prefers that. A lot of people prefer that, right? But our generation is changing that. So think about 20 years into the future.
So you think, according to you, what would the broking industry look like after?
I feel there's one more wave of disruption that will happen. Right now, zero brokerage to aa gaya, but I feel there's one more wave of disruption that will happen. Right? Which I don't know what it is. It definitely
trade karo, paise hum aapko denge.
I don't know, something with the way lending is working in today's date. There might be IPOs where someone else will get the allotment for you, like surrogacy or whatever. I don't know, man. There's one more new model that will come. I don't know what will happen. Because a lot of people are getting used to understanding how interest rates work now. So imagine you can trade for 30 days and they'll give you the money to trade for 30 days and they'll take 2% interest rate on it, and you play smart, and imagine for day traders giving such kind of leverage on a low percentage. I don't know, something else. Something will happen. I don't know what will happen. Something will happen.
This is very interesting. Okay, so Shashank, finally, so what sector are you excited for as of now? So all of you, if you're doing research, you're doing study, what sector do you think?
Currently, I feel IT sector is doing well because of COVID, and I'm enjoying that trend. It will last until COVID's there. After COVID gets over, travel and tourism is going to kick off like before, because all of them are still sleeping. But I know for a fact in India, once COVID is over and you open those international flights, just watch what will happen. Right? Everyone's frustrated at home. Sab log, they'll catch their husbands and say, you know what, trip pe jana hai. Main thak gaya ghar pe baith ke, I'm frustrated. Let us go from here. So tourism and travel industry will kick like no other, right? That will do really well. And then we'll come back to normalcy. I think
what's
next
your take on
sector,
aviation? Like Rakesh Jhunjhunwala is also getting into aviation.
I don't know what he's doing.
Akshay.
I mean, see, Ryanair works really well in the States, in Europe. I've used it, so I know it is good. It is good for India also. But India, it's not the problem of airlines. It's not the problem of SpiceJet or not a problem of Indigo or Rakesh and Akasha, right? It's the problem of the rules and regulations around the aviation sector in India that keeps changing. The import duty cost and the cost of fuel is so expensive so it is not their fault. Either be problem hai. I mean,
but if you feel aviation agar pura mein on a worldwide spectrum mein dekhunga, so if you see some of the biggest airlines, Qatar, and if you see the financial books, I feel aviation sector itself is a very scrutinizing sector to be in.
It's very difficult. Now with all these new things coming up, Hyperloop, right?
Yeah.
Now if I want to go Mumbai to Ahmedabad, I won't take a flight. I'll sit in Hyperloop and go. Right? Chalo, 1-2 ghanta extra, 1 hour extra, but if it's 1/3 the cost, why not?
True.
Now with electric vehicle, when I can go for much cheaper rates than a flight, then only it's about time. So how will time play into the picture? So that's what it is. Now if I have to go, I will always think flight ticket 5,000, car में जाऊंगा तो पेट्रोल डाल के 20,000, तो flight is better. But car में
देखना पड़ेगा, पेट्रोल भी 100 रुपए लीटर हो गया ना, तो
exactly.
अब और कैलकुलेशन चल रही है सबके दिमाग में.
Awesome, man.
So Shashank, thank you so much, man. It was an absolute pleasure. I hope you liked it. And Shashank, tell our audience that where can they follow you and where all things.
I think two main places where you can follow me is Instagram and YouTube, both under the name of Shashank Udupa. And also Scenes app is where I run my community. So you can definitely come and chill and interact with me. I do sessions every day at around 4:30 p.m. So you can do that. Post-market talk. Very similar to some people. Yeah.
Of course. Chalo guys, awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shashank. It was a pleasure to have you and pleasure to host you.
Thank you, man.